guys, so today we're going to be talking about another classic horror movie, and this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's the original one that came out in 1974, apparently based on a true story. I didn't do that much research on the background of it, but I don't know if it was really that bad. I liked that in the beginning the narrator explained the story a little bit, I guess, about what had happened in the real story, and I read that his payment for that narration was a joint. I actually read a lot of interesting facts about this movie, and the guy who played the hitchhiker had been in Vietnam, and he said that filming the movie was the worst experience of his life, and it was even worse than him being in the war, and that if he ever saw the director that he would probably kill him. But that's how bad it was to film this movie. They used real dead animals, rotting food and stuff like that, and the dinner scene towards the end of the movie was the most grueling for the people on the set and the actors. Some of them had actually passed out from the stench and got sick from the smell. Plus it was over 100 degrees with no air conditioning, with dead animals, so obviously that would be like horrid. And the guy who plays the grandfather, who got his makeup put on, said that he didn't want to go through that process again, so they had to shoot all his scenes in one sitting, which took about 36 hours, because he didn't want to go through the process of getting the makeup put on, which was about 5 hours. And he had to sit there in a suit and tie and all this makeup for hours and hours and hours in this 100-degree weather. So this movie's pretty legit, man. It's pretty insane what they did for this movie. They actually also used a real human skeleton because they were cheaper to purchase from India than it was to purchase a plastic one, so it was a real skeleton. That's interesting. Oh, as I'm reading here, contrary to popular belief, it is not a true story because the filming took place pretty much earlier. Oh. Yeah, like a few days before they said it actually happened, so it wasn't real, just kidding. Now, this movie has a lot of real stuff in it, a lot of real blood, because when one of the actresses is running through the forest, she gets cut up really bad, so a lot of the blood that you see is actually her blood. And when Leatherface cuts Sally's finger at the dinner table, he actually cuts her finger because they couldn't get the fake blood to do what they wanted it to do, to make it look real, so they actually had to cut her finger. So there was a lot of pain in this movie that was real, as well as the girl who's put on the meat hook. She's actually held up by like a twine in between her legs, so it still caused a lot of pain, so a lot of her reaction is real as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. The actors and actresses put in a lot of work and a lot of effort to make this movie. Given that, though, the acting wasn't spectacular at times. Some of it was very over the top, but I did love the acting of the hitchhiker. He felt very, very real to me, and that is probably my favorite scene in this whole movie, is when they pick up the hitchhiker, because the feeling of that scene is just so awkward and uncomfortable, and the viewer can really feel that, and they can feel the weirdness going on within the van as if they were actually there. So I love that scene. It was genius, and it's one of my favorite scenes probably in any horror movie of all time, because it is just so well done, and the acting's really good in that scene, and it just felt very real. The movie was actually rated to be the second scariest film of all time by Entertainment Weekly, the first being The Exorcist, which I definitely agree The Exorcist is way scarier than this movie. With that, this movie isn't all that scary. I think a lot of it has to do with how old it is, but it's very predictable in today's world. I would say if you're newly watching this and you've never seen it before, you would kind of expect what would happen, except I really like where it went in the end with the dinner scene. I think that is pretty original, and I really liked that disturbing aspect of it. So there are things in this movie that are very disturbing, but not really overwhelming or anything. I think this would be a great movie to sit and watch with a bunch of friends, and you know, it's one of those party type movies where you could watch and laugh and be like, oh, that's crazy, and kind of, you know, make comments like that. I think it's one of those movies. It's not really one that's gonna scare a lot of people nowadays. This movie actually had a really, really low budget, so that could be why some of it wasn't all reasonable, I guess, but given that the budget was like $60,000, I think that this was a pretty good movie and a pretty successful movie at that. And it disturbed a lot of people at the time. A lot of people walked out of theaters when it was just doing the trailer, like the sneak peek of it. A lot of people couldn't handle it. So I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool. The budget being so low, they did a really good job with it, and I really love this movie. It's definitely a classic in my opinion, and yeah, let me know what you think about this movie, if you've seen any of the remakes. I'm not actually sure how many remakes there are. I do own The Beginning, which is kind of like a remake, and I like that movie, but I'm not really familiar with a lot of other remakes or prequels, sequels, whatever they are. So let me know if you know of any, and if you've seen them, if you like them, or if you still think this one, the original, is better. So let me know down below your thoughts about this movie, what you think about it. And yeah, and I just want to say thank you for all the support on the reaction video. I'm really excited you guys love those. I was nervous posting it because I felt like, because you couldn't see what I was reacting to, it might be a little boring because, you know, it's just literally me reacting for 11 minutes straight. So I wasn't sure about posting it. I'm glad I did. I'm glad you guys like it. Make sure to leave movie requests down below for movies you want to see me react to. I'm not going to do Martyrs because I've already reviewed that and watched it, so me reacting to it, I've already seen it, so I don't know. I'm probably going to watch a Serbian film with my boyfriend because I ain't watching that alone. No. And even then, I don't know. I'm still debating watching that one. A lot of people say don't do it. A lot of people want to see me react to it, so I may do it just for you guys. So you should feel very special because those kind of movies really, really bother me. But yeah, leave requests for react videos down below and let me know your thoughts about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.